welcome to our interview show Psy Mic, brought to you by the Israeli trance portal Mesibatube. I'm Leviathan and I'll be hosting in my studio a very special guest, Cosmosis. Cosmosis is a well-known DJ producer in the Psytrance scene and he's been making music since '94, releasing no less than 8 albums. Many of his singles and releases got very popular, played all over the world in parties, festivals and events. He was also one of the main events in the Ozoro Festival 2013 and was just the other day in the Comfort Club here in Florentine, Tel Aviv. I'm very excited to have this privilege to host him here in our studio. You can visit us on our Facebook page, my page Leviathan, and the Israeli Trance Portal page Mesibatube. And then, without further ado, let's go and see the very inspiring interview with Cosmosis. In the studio with Cosmosis, special interview in Israel. ראיון פה באולפן מאתר מסיבטיוב, פורטל הטראנס הישראלי, עם אמן הטראנס, הדי-ג'יי פרודוסר קוסמוזיס, שמו הפרטי ביל. קוסמוזis, Bill.
Hello, yes.
How you doing? It's very exciting to have you here.
It's nice to be
me and
here.
Ruben, we wanted to do this interview for, like, we had this idea to do this video interview for quite a time, and it's good that we had the opportunity to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You are here because you had a live show, not live. You had like a gig in Comfort.
Indeed, in
Comfort
13,
in Tel Aviv.
Miko's birthday, a very messy party,
Yeah.
absolutely packed, wonderful, great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I just want to mention that you're one of the most senior and popular Psytrance DJ producer.
Less of the senior.
Less of the senior. No, you don't have to be shy. It's like a big respect.
I know.
It's a big respect.
Just kidding, just kidding.
Yeah. And you have a certain relationship, as we can see, with the Israeli audience. Can you tell us about it a little bit?
Well, I like playing here.
Mm-hmm.
I like playing here. I like the audiences here.
You've been here quite a lot.
I've been here over 50 times.
Over 50 times.
Yeah, and I know
Amazing.
because that's not an exaggeration. It sounds like one, but I've been coming here since 1996.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked in my passport and my old passport because they expire every 10 years, and I had 44 Ben Gurion stamps in
One of them or all of them together?
Stamps. In two passports. One was one expired. So, and I've been here many times since they stopped making stamps at the airport. So
when was the first time you were here?
96.
96.
Yeah.
So
and in fact, I played at the Comfort Club. No,
in 96
it wasn't
also
called the Comfort Club, but
yeah,
it was that club in Florentine.
It's interesting, because you started your career officially in 95. You released your first 94 actually. You released your first single. It was a single.
Yeah, the single was called Cannabinoid.
Yeah.
Which is a kind of conglomeration of cannabis and paranoid. And that was an EP on Transient Records. And it came out, I think that came out in early 95. Because we were writing the stuff, me and Jez at that time, over Jez Laughing Buddha.
Yeah.
Over 94 we were writing a lot of material. That's when we got together, like late 93, and we were writing the stuff in 94. And we came to Transient in late 94 and then we started releasing 95.
And it got good responses.
Yeah, it was played in Goa a lot, which we thought was completely cool. We went out and it's great to go out to the old Shore Bar and go and hear your tunes being played. It's great.
And soon after that you got like a full album out.
Yeah, that's right. About a year later, I think we released the album, but we released a whole bunch of singles. Back in those days, we released on vinyl, and we sold units and got paid for it. It was great.
It was great.
These days, you get paid for it. It's really annoying. You get well, you do get paid, but
it's one issue that really annoys a lot of musicians and artists.
Yeah. I mean, it's changed now. I mean, there are some advantages to having everything online. You can do much more promotion for your own things, for example.
The market, like the balance of the market, got completely changed. Different players.
Totally.
You need to understand like how to. Also, the people consume music differently. You know, they have like different habits,
different formats,
pros and cons. You know.
Yeah.
We need to get used to that.
And there are cons. Yeah. But suffice to say that back in those days, we used to get paid on the singles, and then we used to get paid when it was put on compilations, and the compilations used to sometimes sell 30,000 units, and then we used to get the royalties for both of those, and mechanical royalties and the performance royalties.
Yes.
So basically, the earnings in those days were about 50% records, 50% live performances. Now, most musicians I know perform
90%.
It's 90%, 95%. You know.
Yeah.
Somewhere around.
Obviously, especially I think electronic music, like quite esoteric music, like psytrance.
Yeah.
You know, considering the world industry.
Yeah, it's weird music, let's face it.
Yeah. So like people are buying less. And but still you have like, I think you can see that you have a lot more festivals and a lot of more events, I think, than it used to be before, no?
Well, it's changed completely. It's much more focused on live playing now, you know, live performances or DJing or whatever, so there's a lot more of that, yeah.
So you think it's hard?
No, as I said, it's advantages and disadvantages for both. I'm not complaining here.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that it's changed, that's all.
Of course, it's interesting, you know, to analyze that.
Yeah.
I have all my question here on my phone. I hope you don't mind.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Funky shoes, dude.
Let's get personal.
Okay, let's get personal.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you grew up, what were your influences?
Sure. Well, I grew up in London. I was born in London, and grew up in London. And
East London?
No, Northwest London.
Northwest London.
Born and bred. Most of what I remember about my teenage years was there's not much to do.
Really? In London, not much to do?
No. You know, as a teenager, you know, you're too young to go in pubs.
Yeah.
You know, just hang out and smoke cigarettes at the bus stop, you know.
At the parks, yeah.
And drink beer or, you know, homemade wine and get pissed. But that's beside the point. Okay, so I was a professional musician for a good 8 years before I got into making trance. I was a professional guitar player.
Ah, really?
Different bands.
That's interesting.
In fact, by the time I got into doing sessions, being a session musician, the arse had fallen out of the session market, the studio market, because the sampler had come along, right?
Yeah.
And the studios didn't have to pay a live musician anymore. They could just get like the CD-ROM of 1,000 rhythm guitar licks, put it in the sampler, and done. You know, sorted. So it's interesting. This is also another thing of like technology taking away, you know,
bit by bit from the human.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, chasing the changes in technology. You know?
Yeah.
So I was doing mainly live stuff. And just playing with every kind of band that you can imagine, like from lounge jazz to rock and roll to blues to kind of really heavy.
Whereabout? Can you tell us about
pubs,
one place?
Clubs.
A name of a pub?
Working men's club. Huh?
You have a name, like, or of a certain one pub that is very familiar that maybe you want to share?
Jazz Cafe in Camden. Used to play that one. I can't think of any.
And did you enjoy that, I guess?
Yeah, it was great, really good, But it was interesting because it varied from being really interesting, like I'd be playing in Soho in London with some really cool jazz cats, you know, one night, like really good players that I managed to sneak onto the stage with, you know. It's great for you playing to get on with really good musicians. The kind of musicians that if you have to ask the key, you shouldn't be on the stage. You know? No one will ever tell you the key. If you can't figure out the chords in the first 16 bars, what are you doing on the stage anyway? You know, so that kind of thing really gets your level up, yeah. I'll be playing with really good pianists and Ralph Ravenscroft, you know, the guy who
and what kind of music?
On Baker Street, you know, that sax player.
Yeah.
You know, I used to play with him in these Soho jazz clubs. I'd be playing in there one
night. So you
night.
played a lot of jazz actually.
Jazz and jazzy and soul and all that kind of stuff. And then next night I'll be playing in some awful working man's club with like, really kind of, with loads of old dears, old ladies, and you know, and you know, just playing waltzes and foxtrots and tangos. You know, it's just, it would go from really shit to really cool. You know, it would just be anywhere in between. Anyway, so I did some TV and did some radio backing singers,
Also,
and I did some tours, international tours around
So
Europe and
when
Australasia.
when did you pick the guitar for the first time? Like
When I was 16.
16.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I picked up the guitar at that same age, but I didn't get to your level yet.
Oh,
you know.
right, okay.
Tell me, when you said you played the guitar for sessions for about 8 years, and after that you started making electronic music, trance, straight away psytrance.
No, psytrance didn't exist at that time.
Okay.
It hadn't been created yet, you know. So at that time, there was a lot of. I was influenced by a lot of German 303, like early hard floor, which is like proto trance, really. So it's like 303 doing the lead line, 101 bass line, and 909 machine doing a kick, all kind of CV'd up together.
We just want to explain the audience that don't exactly know what you're talking about.
So
We're talking about drum machines,
and
synthesizers,
TR-909,
very classical, old school. Hardware gear.
Yeah, that's how people used to make early trance records, with a 909, typically, a SH-101 Roland doing the bass, analog bass for bass line, and a 303 through the desk, distorted, doing the lead lines, you know, and then the rest of a few hi-hats and stuff, a few samples chucked in. So I was influenced by that stuff, and it blew me away when I heard it.
The first time you heard it, like you remember it had an influence on you.
Well, okay, I've been trying to avoid the subject. I'll tell you how I got started. I was basically, I went to a club in London with some mates. I'd never been to a proper dance club night, and you know, things were passed around, and I had this eureka experience because I didn't really understand dance music before. I was like, what is all this boom 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 business? I didn't get what all this loud kick drum was about, right? Because I was a musician, I was playing all kinds of like more refined music, or so I thought at the time. So anyways, I went along to this club, pretty spangled at the time, and I was like, oh, I get it now, I get what the kick drum is about, I get what the dance thing about. So anyway, I was hooked after that completely. I went back that morning, I was really inspired, and I wrote a track.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I wanted to ask, if like straight away you thought you're going to make something like that.
Oh, it's complete conversion.
Well,
you know, I got religion, you know, bang, done.
Actually, you know, it's interesting because a lot of people say that the first time they heard this music, you know, it sounded so like different from what they knew back in the days, at least. Maybe nowadays people are more or less used to that music.
Of course they are. Yeah.
But I mean, back in the days it was revolutionary.
I'm not even talking about Goa trance. I'm not even talking about psytrance. I'm talking about house music.
Yeah.
You know, boom, boom.
The four on the floor, they were like the big kick
that
drum.
Thing, and it's like the music I was listening to didn't have that. It was like rock and blues and jazz and soul music, and it's about vocals, like, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And and dance music was just starting off then. So I thought, wow, this is amazing. Once I'd gone to a club and experienced what it was all about, you know, and then I got it. You know, oh, I get it. So then I thought, this is what I'm into. And then I went back to my studio. I already had a studio because I was a musician, and wrote some dance tracks.
Nice. Yeah. So you had back in the days also like a home studio. Yeah. And you started. You could record by yourself.
One synthesizer and some basic 2-track. Was it 4-track recording? Yeah. And a MIDI synthesizer and a copy of Cubase on Atari.
Which was purely MIDI back then.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, the computer had 1 megabyte of RAM. 1 meg, you know. Yeah.
And people made music with that.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, you just you use what you have.
Exactly.
You know?
I think you know, sometimes because you have restrictions, you have to be really creative to make with that, and it makes you. It's interesting.
It's interesting because lack of boundaries doesn't support creativity. You have if you have boundaries, you know where your boundaries are, then you can. That forces you to be creative inside those. A lack of boundaries, contrary to what you think,
you're lost in the ocean.
Exactly. Too many options, too many things to try, and you don't actually get any work done. So it's good to have limitations. In fact, I limit the amount of plugins I use. I limit the so I don't get lost in all the possibilities. Option anxiety.
Exactly, you know. Actually, a lot of people say that because of today you can basically do so much with the computer music machinery, and every day you get a new plugin, every day you get new hardware or software, and you get lost in the track, you know.
Absolutely, you get lost in fiddling around with plugins. You don't need 12 compressors, you need one good compressor that you know how to use.
Exactly.
And it takes a long time to know how to tweak it exactly to do what you want to do with the sound. So it's a waste of time. So creating your own limitations is a very sensible thing to do. In fact, I've got Baggins law, with my Cosmosis law on plugins, right? If you look at any music producer, you open their plugin, copy of Cubase, right? And if you go to the plugins and they've got menu, submenu, they've got all these plugins, you know they're not getting any work done. If you go to another musician and they've got hardly any plugins, you know that they're getting lots of work done. It's like
opposite psychological.
It's inversely proportional, the amount of work they get done, finished, to the amount of plugins they have.
You know, it took me like only the last year I figured it out, you know. I said, listen, this is too crazy, you know. I cannot learn everything, you know. I cannot deal with anything. So, stick to that.
Yeah, narrow it down and then get on with the actual work and not the buggering around, tweaking. I'm
going to ask you one last technical question because I think the audience want to hear more about you, like more personal things. Do you use Ableton Live when you perform?
Yes.
Yes, and you use it for production or only for live sessions?
I use it for producing as well, some stuff. I usually use Cubase. I've been using Cubase 20 years, so I'm just used to it. So I just use that. But on some of the simpler stuff that I do, some occasional chill stuff, I use Ableton. I think it's a really excellent program. The plugins are great. The stock plugins that go with it, I mean. And it's what I really like is the arrange page. Sorry, the session page. Because it takes it out of the linear idea of the timeline. You can just try different. You can jam, get different.
And everything is really quick. Everything flows really quickly.
Exactly. So yeah, I use it for that, and also it's really good for live playing because it's designed for live playing. Because I can, it's just got loads of flexibility for doing live stuff. You can DJ with it as well, and you can line your tracks up. And lately I've been plugging my guitar directly from the sound card and using guitar rig inside, so I don't have to carry a massive pedal on the plane with me. You know, so it's not actually as good as my old pedal, but
of course,
it works.
But it works.
Yeah.
It do the jobs.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go to the more. We're going to focus on you. Okay, you like as the artist.
Yes, after all, it is all about
me. Yeah, of course. Can you tell us what Cosmosis stands for? Like,
okay.
What is the agenda?
Oh, what is the agenda of Cosmosis, you mean? Or do you mean the name, what it means?
No, not the name, what it means, but like, you have like your music is a certain type of music. Right, you have like elements inside.
Right.
The vision, the inspiration.
Well, the inspiration for the music, or what I'm intending to accomplish with it.
You can tell us about it both.
Well, I suppose what I'm intending to accomplish and what I do intend to accomplish is I make music for people to have fun. So a lot of my music is a little bit cheeky, and it has a little bit of a sense of humour in it if you listen carefully.
Yeah.
And it's about fun and enjoyment and partying. So, which is kind of, without wanting to be negative about other kinds of music, which is something I never really understood is super dark music, because for me trance parties are about having fun, going out with your mates, dancing, having a wicked time, you know, which is what I always used to do. So I make music for that. I make music for people to have an amazing time out at a party with their friends and have an absolute wild time too.
I think
so that's what my music is about.
It's a very good agenda. Yeah, I think the audience, they also will really appreciate that you make the music from that kind of place. I think I also can agree with you.
And it's also my intention when I play, also when I do live appearances, is to to get people to have a good time. Because it's a party.
Yeah. I think, but this is what is pretty about it, you know, because a good time is very subjective, you know, where each person, like, you can have a good time with a different thing. I don't like so much the really darky styles, but people, like a lot of people, it's very popular, as you know. A lot of people, like, they like this scary, spooky, maybe dark experience, getting lost in the woods, you know. And I think your music is more about, really, it's more bright, it's more communicative, it's more about, like, you know, smiling to people.
It's more colourful. Intentionally. I'm not saying I don't like dark colour in music, but to me it has to be contrasted with something. If you listen to my music, there's some parts of which are dark and weird and spooky, but then it comes out of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I like the contrast.
Yes.
I suppose what I'm saying is with dark, when it's relentlessly dark, doom, death, you're never gonna get out of this hole. I just think, what is all that about? I mean, and of course everybody likes different things, but I just don't get it. It goes over my head completely. So for me, I mean, because you can't do everything in music. That's what my intention is, and you know, is to get,
maybe
get people to have a great
maybe we
time.
can sum it like your music is more in the psytrance scene. Your music is more like of rock and roll, while the dark is more like death, doom metal.
I don't know whether I'd put it quite like that, but it's certainly about there's joy in it. I like to put joy in my music, colour, and because I like colour. For me, you know, psychedelic music and psychedelics have always been very bright and colourful for me. So
I can agree with you.
Yes, that I know, and of course everybody does what they like to do, and that's cool with me. You can't put limits on art. It's just what I do.
You know, the music today, like, the evolution is happening so fast, so many different styles and trends. Do you like what's going on with the trends? You think you think you're trying to stick to the trend, or you're staying, like, loyal to your place in music production?
I don't really think of it in those terms. I just make music that I like, and that's just as simple as that. You know, I like make music
just about that.
Like. Yeah, I don't.
Amazing.
I don't think of it like, oh, shall I do this or shall I do that? This turns me on. Oh, you know, and that sound, and I like that, so I do that. It's not really a thinking process for me. It's just, and that's what I've
Very
always
simple.
done. I just do what I do.
I think,
and then it comes out the way it comes out. You know?
I think it's a good advice, you know. Actually, when you're doing anything, you know, creative.
Well, I think if you're an artist, you need to find your voice, and how you find your voice is not by looking outside; it's by looking inside. And if you find what you like and what you like, and what turns you on, is probably going to turn someone else on, and then that's your expression, that's your contribution. So that's
makes sense. It
makes sense. Wow, yeah. It's I don't know any other way. In fact. I mean, it always seems to me. I mean, because I work with people who like younger trance producers, like collaborations. So they say, "Shall we do it like this or shall we do it like that?" And I'm just saying, "Oh, fuck all that. Let's just do it. You know, this sounds good. Let's do that."
Yeah, I think it's like a good direction to think about.
Yeah, it's the fuck it, let's do it.
But still, have us talking about dark music. Do you have something in music that you really don't like when you hear it, when people make?
Super high tempo. Is it high tech?
High tech, exactly.
I have to run from the dance floor at great speed to get away from it. I really don't enjoy it. I can listen to it sometimes a little bit for the production value, because oh, that's interesting, you know, but it's too fast for me. I'm not saying that people shouldn't do it, because as I said, artists should do whatever they whatever they're drawn to. But of course, for me, it vibrates me at the wrong frequency. The tempo is too fast. It makes me feel anxiety,
losing the groove.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, and for me, dance music is about dancing, and if I can't dance to it, it's like, what is that?
Exactly. You know, I just thought about it myself. Like, if it's so fast, so it's losing the groove. You know, you cannot stay groovy in that kind of tempo, especially if it's 4 on the floor, you know.
Yeah.
So it's not a dance music. I think it's more like something for the mind.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But not for me.
Yeah.
It's not to my taste at all. As I said, it's about frequencies for me, and it vibrates me at the wrong frequency. Like, you know, if you're near a PA stack, it actually vibrates your body out the music, and it seems to be vibrating me at the wrong frequency. I just feel anxious at that speed.
Yeah.
Just makes me, the vibrations through my body, it makes me feel anxious. So I tend to run away.
It's completely understandable. Do you have something that you really like that you hear musicians and producers doing in their music?
Well, it's difficult to name one thing. I usually listen to tracks and think, oh, I like that bit, you know, oh, I like that. But I don't know so much about, I can't really name a style. I don't listen to too much psytrance, actually. I tend to listen to Atlantic Soul, Stevie Wonder. Yeah,
actually it was
in the car.
It was the next question I wanted to ask you. Like, what music do you listen to at home? I'm sure you're not listening.
I rarely listen to trance music outside of a dance party. I think it's great at a dance party. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
But outside of that context, I don't really listen to it much. For me, it's more listening music, and listening music isn't half as aggressive as, you know, because the kick and bass these days is so loud in the mix. That it sounds fantastic through a big rig, but I just don't want to be beaten up by the kick drum when I'm, you know, trying to chill in my car driving, you know. It's just
so Stevie Wonder, you said.
Well, no, I don't want to give you the impression.
Stevie Wonder is a great choice, you know. By the way.
Well, yeah, I know, but let's not forget the big mistake. I just called to say I love you, you know. I don't mean that Stevie Wonder. I'm talking about like Motown Stevie Wonder.
The funky Stevie Wonder,
Absolutely,
of course.
I like funk, you know. I like 70s funk. I like Aretha Franklin, and you know, all kinds of music. All kinds of music.
Having said that, did you hear something very interesting lately? I'm talking about anything, not just in the psytrance. Something like really that grabbed you, that you said, wow, this is new, this is fresh, this is interesting.
I can't think of it.
And it's really hard those days, you know, to get excited from like new music, because you have like the diversity is so big.
Yeah. I can't think of the last band or artist I listened to. I thought, wow, that's fantastic.
What do you think about
it? But there's bound to be a few that I'm going to remember after this interview. Yeah, I tend to spend a lot more time playing music than listening to.
One more thing, this is Ruben wanted me to ask you.
Who?
Hi, Ruben. You are here with us in your spirit, yeah? But he wanted to know, like, because you're doing it for so many years and you have such a big experience in that field, you go to make live shows and gigs and working at the studio. After all this time, is going playing is just another day in the office, or still it can get you excited and you
it's
like
It's never another day in the office. But the thing that is not so much fun is the travelling these days.
Yes.
It's that was fun to start with, but now it isn't so much fun for two reasons. One, because we've had all the terrorist bullshit since 9/11, which makes it a pain in the arse to fly, and people want you to take your shoes off and do this.
Really, like you really feel it?
No, you know, through airports.
Yeah, of course.
Well, you know, imagine this: you played a party, you come out of the party, you haven't got any sleep, you go to the airport, and you sleep like this, and some guy saying, you know, can you take this on? Can you? After a while, it's like, Jesus, it's a pain in the arse, you know. So there's that, and also then you've got budget airlines, so the seats are getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, the seats are actually getting smaller.
It was actually more pleasurable back in the day because of that. So the actual flying itself, it wasn't so much checking. You're just going to rock through, then X-ray your bag maybe, you know. So and you had more seat legroom. Okay, so that's one thing. So the actual travelling isn't fun anymore, but the actual playing I love.
Amazing.
Getting to the gig is like. Yeah, but having said that, when I get to the airport, I think, good. But actually getting to the airport, what times? Oh, I've got to get the.
Actually, I'm happy to hear that from you. You know, you make us very optimistic about
playing is always fun.
Yeah.
Playing is always fun. I've always enjoyed it. I love to play for people. I like to make people happy, and I like to have fun when I'm playing, and I always do. You know, this is what I love to do. You know, it's a privilege to share your music with people and they enjoy it. It's an absolute privilege.
Amazing.
It can't ever be boring. When I actually go on stage, I love it. It's great.
By now, you've made 5 albums, if I'm not mistaken. Yes?
Hang on. It's 8. 8?
Is 8 albums. I saw that you made, maybe, I'm talking about Cosmosis, yeah?
Intergalactic, I don't know, 6, 7, I think
7.
there's 7 albums.
7, wow, amazing.
There's 7 albums and 2 compilation albums.
The last one was in 2014. The last one
No? I can't remember when the last one was. It was too long ago. I need to make another one. In fact, I've got it like half finished.
Maybe it was a remix or something?
What?
2014? No?
I don't know. When it's an album?
Yeah.
No, I didn't make a remix album. Yeah.
So when was the last album released?
The last one was Psychedelic and Melodica, which I can't remember when it was, but it was at least 3 years ago. At least. Probably 4. So it's, you know, as I said, I've got half an album, Cosmosis album finished, but I still haven't got round to finishing the rest of it.
But you're planning to release something soon.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I've got another
something for us to wait for, you know. It's something for us to wait for.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. Exciting for you.
Something for me to stop procrastinating about and get on and finish. Yeah.
You like the time in the studio?
Yeah, it's good fun. Yeah. Actually, I'm enjoying working. I've got a new project that I'm working on with a friend of mine in Ibiza called Eric Contica, and it's a new project called Abraxas, and we're working on that at the moment.
Abraxas? What kind of music is that?
It's trance.
Trance?
Yeah, slightly slower than the Cosmosis stuff, a little bit more, just slightly slower. Not quite so pumping.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to explore that area, like slightly slower tempos.
Yes, and you had, through the years, you had collaborations with few artists. One of them is Bliss, I think. He
Not
made
a collaboration,
like
he did a good remix of Spanish Gypsy, actually. Yeah, I liked his remix of that. I've had a few tunes remixed by remixers and thought, okay. But his one was great.
Yeah, I liked it also.
He did a really good job.
Yeah. And you had more collaborations, like really producing music with other artists?
Oh, loads,
Yeah?
I was playing with Seb at the party, and I think I've done 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5 tunes with him over the years. We released a couple of 12 inches at least. Oh no, we've probably done about 7 or 8 tunes together.
7 or 8 tunes?
Seb Chapter.
Quite a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and I've been collaborating with the... who have I been collaborating with lately? Hypnacoustics, and we've just done something with a 4-way collaboration with Sonic Species, Cosmosis, Hypnacoustics, and Avalon. I was in London a little while ago.
4 of you together?
Yeah.
Really?
Too many cooks.
That's interesting. I'm really looking forward to see.
Well, I mean, those guys have got. Well, they had until recently a studio in London where you had Sonic Species on one level, Avalon on another, and Joe Hypnacoustics on the other one. So I rocked up and we're like, okay, let's do a tune. So we did 2, and yeah.
It reminds me what we talked about before the interview. I want to remind you, because I think it's related to what you said now. You said it's very important to be in an environment where you have more artists producing, making, to collaborate. Why do you think it's so important for an artist to be in that environment?
Well, our environment affects us more than we realise. And if you're in an environment which, I don't know, you can choose, right? You can choose to be in an environment which doesn't support your creativity, or you can choose to be in an environment which does support your creativity. And if you're committed to creating stuff, you may as well choose to be in an environment which is going to support your creativity. So if you're around other people that are making music, and you've got a mate that makes music, and you can get enthusiastic about it together, then you're just going to produce more material. If you live in a place where in a cultural dead zone where everything's quiet and shanty,
think about the suburb, like a quiet suburb, when
then it's probably not quite so culturally stimulating.
As you said, this is one of the reasons you live in Ibiza now.
Yeah, that's right. I moved to Ibiza recently, and there's a whole bunch of people I can work with in the north of the island. It's always the hippie area in the north of the island. There's a bunch of trance producers. There's GMS Banzi lives up the road. There's Frankie Coxbox. There's Shiva Yorg, who lives down the road from me. And there's Eric Quantico, I've been working with. And there's Maurizio and Etnica, Max Etnica live there. And there's a whole bunch of trance producers that live there. Yeah, so you've got that kind of thing. And they've also got there's a really nice music scene there of normal music, you know.
Yeah, like actual band playing together.
Yeah, there's a nice band scene there. In fact, I'm playing in a band there, and I just moved there and I saw this band playing and I was like, wow, that's wicked, and I ended up jamming with them. Now I'm playing in the band.
Cool. It's like
it's great fun. Yeah,
it's like you got back to the place you wanted the first place to be in. Yeah.
Well, it's nice. It's a nice contrast. I mean, I love electronic music.
Yeah,
it's great, and I like to make it. But it's nice to, you know, because I have other sides to my music. I'm musically schizophrenic, I like to say. I've got the electronic side and I've got the other side. So I like to take care of the other side because I really love normal music as well. And then I do the electronic crazy stuff as well.
I think like there's electronic music and the possibilities we have with these new technologies. Still, there is something about a bunch of people playing together, you know, making the music live, as like communicating with one another. It's like
a very, very different.
It's a different vibe. It's a different
very
vibe.
Different thing. Yeah. It's almost completely opposite in one way. Because what you gain with the technology is you gain the control over absolutely every part of the process. You can control everything, every EQ, every tweak, everything.
Everything has to be like.
But what you lose is any spontaneity. So you make a techno trance track. It's like building a house. You have to make a plan, dig the foundations, put the concrete in, make the walls, build the roof. You know. With music, you can just pick up a guitar with someone else and just go bang. You're making music in real time, bang, bang, and it's happening, and there it is, you know, and it's creating magic in the moment.
And every time it's different, you know.
Spontaneity.
And you can play the same tune, and every time it's going to be different.
Yeah,
you know?
That's right. Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
So I like both sides of that, both those sides of music. So I enjoy being able to do both. And the other thing is, of course, is that each one feeds the other. So what you learn about rhythm when you make trance and techno music and rhythmic stability, you take into your playing, and you can bring all the influences from playing guitar or for myself, or chords or musical theory into trance. So they can cross-fertilise each other. So you've got more musical possibilities. Yeah.
Yes, you actually cross influences.
Exactly.
And you said that it's like a bunch of people producing music in Ibiza, and it brings me like it crossed to mind. How can you live like a family life, for example? Are people there have family life? They are raising children.
Where?
In Ibiza.
Yeah, of course. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a whole raging party island. I mean, it is in the summer in the south, but in the north, it's there are families and. You know, it's not completely crazy. It's just that there's a large proportion of artistic, hippie, musician.
I'm talking about the artists and musicians.
Oh well, it's up to the individual how they organise their family life. You know, I know people with families there.
Yeah. So, you've been to a lot of places in the world playing. Like you saw a lot of I guess Australia, Europe, Japan, South America also. So you got to experience a lot of different cultures.
Canada, New Zealand, Mexico, Bali, India, Japan, you know,
all over the world.
Yeah,
so
Russia.
I think it's like a rare opportunity or privilege that you saw like so many cultures.
It is indeed, yeah.
And maybe you got a structure of the world's cultures in your brain, in your mind. And it's interesting for me from your point of view when you play, and you get interacted with the audience. Like if you can tell us about interesting differences between audiences in different places in the world.
Yeah, I mean there are some differences. I like playing in Israel because people know how to party.
So it's true. It's not a myth.
Blowing hot air in your ear here.
Yeah.
Because I'm in Israel. Israeli audiences kick ass. They know how to party. and they show their appreciation, and they're great fun to play for. They're just, you know, it's like trance central Israel. You know, it's like the music, trance music is everywhere in Israel. It's a small country, and everybody listens to trance pretty much.
Yes, it's very.
I've even done it. I come to the airport, and they said, "What's your purpose in Israel?" You know, the border guard looks at me. I said, "Well, I'm playing a gig." And said, "Oh, really? What are you playing?" "Oh, I'm playing out." You know, and then they go, "Oh, really? Who are you?" "Cosmosis." "Oh, Cosmosis." "Oh, yeah." You know, like, do you know what I mean? It's like even the border guards that go to parties.
Because it's here. It's not. This is the thing, you know. Like people don't. A lot of Israelis also don't know that the trance music are not as popular as in Israel. You know, like techno music is much more popular outside of the borders. In here, techno music it's like, you know, underdog to trance music.
It should be. It's not as good as trance.
I couldn't agree with you more. Yes, and what I wanted to...
you know, I mean, the parties in Japan used to be good as well. I mean, that scene died there, unfortunately. But back in
in Japan?
In the mid 2000s, it used to be really good scene there from the late 90s to the, and I used to go there a lot. It used to have a really good scene, but it just kind of fell off a cliff there. And those audiences used to really go hard and party as well. Yeah.
So how come? So what happened, you think? Because I think they had like a really...
I really don't know. I think the parties... you know, the police came down on the parties or something like that, and then it kind of fell out of fashion with somehow, you know. I think it was more of a passing fad there. I really can't give you the answer to that question, but it's definitely fell off a cliff.
You have like a golden tip for young musicians that want to start and produce music, psytrance music. Can you tell them like one or two principles should they stick to?
Alright, a couple of things. One is that anything that's worth doing takes a long time. So you have to figure out what you want to do and keep doing it. Second thing is that is to stick to what you like doing. If you're an artist, you've got to find out what you like, because what people expect from you as an artist is they want you. So you have to find out what it is that you like, and then do what you like, and have faith in what you like to do is what other people will like. Rather than going, oh, maybe I should do some of this, maybe I should do that, maybe they'll like this, maybe they'll like that. Forget all that, just do what you dig. Get the music lined up in your iPod that you like and that are influenced by, and then of course there is a process where you have to learn by listening to other people's music and trying different styles, but once you decide to be an artist, you have to make the music that turns you on.
I think you couldn't put it better than that, you know. Amazing. You got like 2 magic tips from no other than Cosmosis. Mate, it was a pleasure to have you here.
It was lovely.
I hope we'll see you soon in Israel. Big respect for our man Cosmosis. We are definitely going to wait for some new music to be released and for you to come back and perform here as soon as possible. Meantime, you can check his website, you can see all the discographies over there, you can see the nice galleries, very psychedelic. That's it for today. We hope you enjoyed the show. Keep on following us on our Facebook pages, Mesibatube and Leviathan. Thank you guys, see you on the next episode of Psy Mic.